Hi, and welcome. I really hope you're as excited about this workshop as I am. Throughout the next 4 weeks, we'll be exploring instructional design from both theoretical and practical perspectives, and then trying to bring those perspectives into alignment as we work on our activities throughout this workshop. Now, if you're like me, you like to let theory inform your practice, but you certainly don't let it dictate everything that you're going to do. You understand that great instructional design is as much about the people and the context as it is about the content. So knowing your context is critical to your success as an instructional designer. So let's take a look at a week 1 activity to explore how we'll be integrating these general ideas or theories into our own practice. So in week 1, there is a reading called Instructional Designer Roles and Challenges. As part of this activity, you're going to review some statistics on the roles and challenges of instructional designers at many different universities before identifying or trying to identify your own roles and challenges. In this case, the statistics and the information in these readings are going to help you expand your overall awareness of your own situation. Plus, by all of us reading these same documents, it'll give us a common vocabulary that we can use as we attempt to discuss our unique situations with each other. All right, while we are here in this activity, let me point out a few things about our weekly associated readings. Readings will have this associated reading activity. So each week you'll get a reading and an associated reading activity. The activity is meant to help you apply what you're reading. Now, in every case, you're going to be asked to turn in the products of the associated reading activity, so don't skip over this section. For example, in week 1, you're reading, and then you've got questions to answer for each of the roles identified in the readings. Notice how there are these 4 tabs, and each tab takes you to some questions about that role. To answer the questions, you can start out digitally with typing your responses to each of the questions, or you can write out your responses by hand and then turn them into a digital artifact by either photographing your work or using a scanner to scan it in. However you want to do that, just make sure that we can read it and access it. And there's a little information about that here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to week 1, and while we're still here, let me point out a few more things. So each week there are some readings, and they have the associated live activity like we discussed. There is also in week 1, in addition to the content related discussion, there is an intro discussion. I want to encourage each of you to go crazy and do something fun with multimedia for this intro discussion. This is an extra credit opportunity for you. But even more important, this is a chance for you to experience how including media in an intro discussion or in any discussion can really have an impact on the whole feeling of the activity and the outcomes of that activity. Also in week 1, we have a live session. And I want you to notice that you can submit questions under 3 different categories, and or claim responsibility to research and then answer those questions during the live session. We're going to do this each week so that the live sessions are completely driven by your needs and interest. Now, participation in this activity also has extra credit opportunities. All right, so that's a few tips about week 1. Now let's just take a few minutes to cover some quick navigation and workshop success tips. I'm going to go back to the welcome section. All right, so we're here in the welcome section where you can find the syllabus, progress, help forum, and news forum. Now, in the syllabus, there is a getting started section which has more tips and information and help about getting around in the course. While we're here, I would also like to highlight the water cooler forum. This is a place to share anything beyond what you've been asked to do in the other forums. So if you have got tips that you want to share or some cool new mobile app that you want to discuss, whatever it is, please feel free to do it there in the water cooler. Okay, now in the upper left, there is a menu. This menu is contextual. That means it changes slightly depending on where you happen to be in the course. Then we have the buttons to get to the different weeks of material and the closing activities. And then in the upper right, you have your user menu. This is a menu that doesn't change, and it's a really easy way to get to your profile, your grades, to change your preferences. For example, your email preferences about how much email you receive and when. Speaking of email, in the news forum, you will always get those posts regardless of how you set your preferences. The news forum is for important information or interesting ideas that I'm going to share with you at least a couple of times a week. All right. I think that's enough for now. Not too long, not too short. Hopefully this helped, and be looking for more useful information and or ideas here in the facilitator corner, or go and read in the news announcements. Thanks. Take care.